Breaking investing news. Trump finally got SEC Chairman Gary Gensler to step down. And now Trump can appoint a Republican. Thank God. Because all the Democrats want to do is tax your realized gains more and more. They're talking about taxing your unrealized gains. They want to control how you transfer the money and how you will the money to your heirs. All the Democrats want to do is tax you. Because how else can they pay for 10 million illegal immigrants and give them cell phones?
Right. The SEC is saying that Chairman Gary Gensler will be stepping down from the SEC. That'll be effective at noon on January 20th. That's when Donald Trump will take the oath of office. So the Biden appointee will be stepping down. Now, his tenure as chair ran through 2026, but clearly it has been signaled intensely by the Trump team that they intend to replace Gary Gensler at the SEC. So he does not intend to stick around.
By Trump now appointing a Republican SEC chairman, I'm calling this the quad effect. Because number one, you have the House, all Republicans. Number two, you have the Senate, all Republicans. Number three, you have the president, a Republican. And number four, you now have a Republican leading Wall Street. So what does this mean for us? More money for you and more money for me if we invest in the right stocks and the right cryptos. And that's why you're subscribing to Passion Prevails Entertainment and you're following the money playlist because you want to make more money. And that's why you're going to share this video with your family and your friends because you want them to make more money with you. And this is going to happen because Trump is a Republican and Republicans want more business. They want more growth. They want less regulation. They want less taxes. And they're pushing for a more friendly crypto environment, which the Democrats did not want.
I mean, I think we all know that, Gary Gensler is going to step down. We have across the board in the House, Senate, and with President-elect Trump, a much more friendlier environment. And
before we discuss which Republican Trump picks for the new SEC chair, it's important for you to know that it is going to help all of your investments. Stocks, bonds, crypto, the transfer of money, the transfer of your wealth, the transfer of your wealth to your heirs. So the next 4 years with Trump is going to be bullish. And with the SEC chair as Republican, it is the quad effect.
The expectation among folks in Washington is that if they do pick an SEC chair, no matter who the name is, you're likely to see sort of less intense enforcement around sort of more exotic cases, less intense enforcement, certainly around ESG situations, less intense enforcement, perhaps an entirely new look at what crypto enforcement might look like as well under a Trump administration.
With the baby boomers retiring, for example, my parents, they are transferring their wealth to their kids. And their kids do not want to buy gold bars. They would rather buy crypto, like me. I would never buy a gold bar. I don't know where to buy one. I don't know where to cash one in. I don't know where to store it. I think it's stupid. I would rather have my Coinbase app, hit the sell button, and immediately transfer the funds into my bank account. So with Trump picking a Republican as the SEC chair, it is going to make more people friendly with buying crypto from all three generations, the 20-year-olds, the 40-year-olds like me, and the 60-year-olds. And this transferring of wealth is undeniable right now because all these baby boomers have their houses paid off, they have 401ks, and they have savings. So there are trillions of dollars getting transferred as the baby boomers continue to die.
so much money is going to be transferred from the baby boomers to the Gen Z, and they're not wanting to buy, per se, Berkshire Hathaway. They're wanting to play in crypto and do levered single stock ETFs. And so I just think longer term, you're going to have more investors continue to come into this space, not only with this wealth transfer, but as you get more institutional adoption. I still think that, IBIT and the other ETFs that came out and all of the marketing that the BlackRocks per se are doing around the institutionalization of Bitcoin just has this halo effect across all cryptocurrencies. But I think it's just there. This asset class doesn't seem like it's going to be destroyed. It's just going to slowly, it looks like it's stronger.
And to prove my point that 60-year-olds and higher are starting to look at Bitcoin and crypto because of Trump and because of the fair regulation. We have Steve Weiss, who is buying Bitcoin now. 2 years ago, Steve Weiss wasn't even ever talking about Bitcoin. This is a very conservative man, and it proves my point. As Trump serves in office, more and more of these 60, 70, and maybe 80-year-olds are gonna start putting money into Bitcoin and other cryptos.
Weiss, you bought more Bitcoin, right?
I did. And so here's how I...
Undeterred by how much it's going up? I mean,
I actually bought more this morning. It's not unusual to hit resistance and to stay below that major resistance level. And psychologically, 100,000 is a major resistance level.
And I understand why Steve Weiss is buying it, because Bitcoin is now a legit asset. It is competing with gold. And if gold is at an $18 trillion market cap and Bitcoin is only at a $2 trillion market cap, there's a lot of room for Bitcoin to run. And other older investors like him will continue to do so as Trump makes it more favorable.
But here's how I look at it. I'm still not a believer in use cases. But there's a guy that I debate Bitcoin with all the time, this guy Alan Handler, and he's been in it for a long, long time. And you know what it's like? His excitement has only increased. That's how Bitcoin's trading. So the palpable excitement and the fact that Josh is right, there's so much more to come. So the use case is what I'm doing with it, which is trading it. So I think it keeps going, actually, because so many force pulling. Undoubtedly, a lot of the buying's been an expectation of what's going to happen. Sure. But
Sure.
You're going to see a lot more come out of it.
This next clip you're about to watch is from Josh Brown explaining that the big money wealth managers on Wall Street are going to capitulate, which means they're going to start surrendering and start investing in Bitcoin and other cryptos. Because up until now, they've been resisting. And Josh Brown is explaining that there's $7 trillion that they haven't even started putting into it yet. So once they start investing, Bitcoin going up and other cryptos going up, and more of the older generation starting to follow them. So we have the 20-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, and the 60-year-olds, because most of those big money managers are tied to a lot of people that are over the age of 60.
The final capitulation of the enemies of crypto and how effectively the wealth management industry was next. We haven't even seen that yet. So when you see those flows into IBIT and the other large ETFs, that's like not even close to being 0.01% of all of the money in the RIA/wealth management space. The RIA space is $7 trillion, and these people are mostly petrified to even have conversations about digital assets with clients, let alone make an actual solicitation or recommendation. So all of that is still to come, but I still believe, as I've believed for a while, that it will come. It's been a complete sea change. The resignation last week was kind of like the cherry on top, and now I think the adoption phase in traditional finance is what's going to be the next leg.
So who did Trump pick to lead the SEC? He picked Paul Atkins, a Republican, who was a former commissioner at the SEC. So he already knows the ropes.
Finally, we've got some breaking news out of the Trump transition team. Paul Atkins, a former SEC commissioner, has been tapped by President-elect Trump to lead that agency. On a Truth Social post this afternoon, Trump said that Atkins, quote, recognizes that digital assets and other innovations are crucial to making America greater than ever before.
And Paul Atkins at the time took over a Ponzi scheme, reversed it, and ended up giving shareholders money back. This explains that he will pass regulation for Bitcoin and other cryptos to make it safer, and that he understands contracts, language, and the Securities and Exchange verbiage.
When he was at the SEC previously, one of the things that he did was he took over, at the time, the largest Ponzi scheme in the United States out of bankruptcy and actually generated a 2,000% return for shareholders. This guy knows how to get things done, knows how to protect citizens and consumers as it relates to securities and investments.
And Paul Atkins told the banks that they need to have regulation so they can have custody of assets like crypto, when they had no regulation, and they weren't willing to do it because the Biden administration wasn't backing them up with Gary Gensler. There was no such contracts. There was no such custody. So with Paul Atkins and Trump, the banks will perhaps have custody of these assets like crypto. And Paul Atkins will make it more favorable for them and set guidelines and rules, which overall makes it safer for us to invest.
You know, he came out and said the SAB 121 ruling for the banks, which is, effectively making it impossible for banks to custody cryptocurrencies, should be clarified, or how to custody cryptocurrency. So this is a guy that brings common sense to the SEC, which I think is extremely well received by the crypto industry, but most importantly, the entrepreneurs and investors in the United States. that want to, safely and from a regulatory standpoint, invest and participate in crypto.
And the crypto community and crypto investors were asking for regulation. They were asking for a set of rules, a set of guidelines, and Biden wasn't giving it to them with Gary Gensler. Now Paul Atkins can give it to them.
However, on the crypto side, we don't have clear regulatory frameworks. We have been begging for this type of thing for quite some time because we want to know what the rules are, because we want to operate within those rules. Part of the job that he'll do at the SEC is, yes, there's going to be some deregulation happening in traditional markets that are going to enable, I would hope, additional innovation and growth of the broader economy from the deregulatory actions that he should enact. But on the crypto side, just as an example, removing something like SAB 121 or providing clarity around, commodities versus securities, etc. This is something that we've been asking for quite some time and can actually lead to a lot of additional innovation here in the United States.
And the icing on the cake for all of this is that Trump also wants to create a crypto council or committee that will oversee all of this activity. This is even more bullish. This is a fifth positive sign in addition to the quad effect.
The Trump administration has effectively said that they're looking at creating some sort of crypto council to get smart about this. And this is what I think is a key point of having someone like Atkins come in, is you're not having somebody that's an academic. You're actually having someone from the private sector and also bringing people in that have been building in this industry for quite some time, which is ultimately what you need to kind of break the logjam that exists in DC, whether it's the tight coupling of folks like Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren, or it's just spreading out what can be done across the US government to enable innovation more broadly, thus crypto benefiting from it.
So clearly, all signs are pointing to Paul Atkins being an excellent choice for the SEC chair and for the future of investing, at least while Trump is the president.
This fits in alignment, I think, with what Trump is looking to do around this broader crypto policies. Paul seems like a steady hand. He is a conservative, but he has actual experience in the private sector as well as the SEC. I don't really see a better fit for the type of individual he would want to bring in to usher in a pro-crypto and pro-innovation.
And click this link to watch my video on my price prediction for Bitcoin under the Trump administration, from the beginning of the administration to the end of it. It's my 4-year price prediction for Bitcoin. And be sure to watch my upcoming video, which I'm posting in a few days, on Uber and my price prediction for Uber over the next 12 months. Thank you for watching, and thank you for following the Money Playlist.